Hello and welcome back to episode 10 of my AllTheMods10 SSP playthrough. So, picking up right where we left off, I do want to explain a little bit better about the storage drawer system we're currently building. So essentially, since this is a different dimension, we are using the quantum link chamber. So this, I just think of this as an extension of our system back home. So we're going to have a storage bus connected to this storage controller, and so this storage controller is just basically functional storage's system manager. And so if we hold the linking tool here, we can see this giant green box that goes all around here. And so what I actually might end up doing is just putting this storage controller, because it's so big, just moving it more towards the middle here so that we can put the drawers all along the walls here. But for now, we will keep that here. In the storage bus from Applied Energistics, basically what it does is, so you know how we have the drives back home, we can actually store the items in the drives itself, as you can see here. In the storage bus, nothing is stored in the Applied Energistics network itself. Basically, the storage bus will look into this storage controller, and it can interact with all of the items placed in this network, but it's not storing those items in the AE network itself. So I would think of it more as it's looking into this separate network, this separate storage entity. You can also use a storage bus on just a regular chest. It's looking into, and it can interact with those items. It can put things into and pull things out of, but it's not storing in the network itself. And with this storage bus, you can actually put a priority on it. I'm going to put it a priority of 15. Just make it a higher priority, so if the Applied Energistics network sees that an item is being stored in one of these drawers, it will push and pull from this first, since it has a higher priority rather than the drives. So the items that we want to store in here will be stored in here first, and if this gets full, then it'll start storing into the network. However, some items, and a lot of the items that we're storing in these drawers themselves, we're not going to want to have stored in our network regardless. So I went ahead and made some extra drawers, as well as gotten our previous drawers filled with cobble and dirt in here. But we are going to make a handful of void upgrades. Now, they do exactly what it says it does if the drawer is filled up to its maximum. So if this, for example, this obsidian has, and this is why we also want to lock it. I don't know why I don't know why the 8 went in there. The 8 obsidian went in there, but if this drawer fills up with 2k items, since this is a higher priority, the system will always try to push items into here. But if it's 2k out of 2k, it'll just void it. It'll just trash it. And so we will start off with copper upgrades and, putting the void upgrades in. Obviously, we're going to want more than 2k eventually, but I'm not too worried about that for the time being. So we'll go ahead and just place it. Actually, if we're placing the drawers, let me go ahead and get rid of this and place the smart cables. So we'll go up like 3, let's say. Yeah, and put the controller here. Let's see how that looks. Yes, so the ceiling, all the walls, all of this area is completely fine. We'll go ahead and put the storage bus here, check the priority, put it back up to 15. And so since we destroyed this and are now moved it, we're going to need to re-add all of this. So we'll actually just remove these for the time being. But and place this. Probably go ahead and move some of this stuff eventually, but we will go ahead and put voids on all of these. And these already have the copper upgrades in them too. So now as of previously, you know, we were putting cobblestone and dirt into the drawers outside of our network. And, that was the wrong thing. There we go. If we go back now, and yep, we can now see the cobblestone, the dirt, all that stuff, but it's not going to be in any of these. And if we put the 40 cobblestone in there, it will not put it in either of these. So let's take a stack out. 35, 51, and now we are at 36, 15. So if we go back, yeah, we should see 3.6k in there. Perfect. So the reason why this setup is so important is because we are going to be pumping in our essence generated into these chests. You know, we don't really want constant resource production because, again, these will grow infinitely and the hoe has infinite durability. So it's essentially infinite, just depending on the amount of time spent. So we are going to want to put all of these essence in the drawers and not in our AE network because we don't want infinite everything else. And I kind of didn't realize it was night. Look at these night vision goggles go. So I'm going to just grab some of these. We're not going to have enough drawers at the moment to put all of these individual items into there. But we'll go ahead and just grab a handful of all of them, and we will go back to the compact machine dimension and start placing them in the chests. And we'll actually start just start the wall back here. We'll go ahead and put the 8 there. I am going to want to go ahead and put these upgrades on. We might need to, yeah, we're definitely going to need to make some more. I'm gathering wood in the meantime. One thing I did forget to do for over here is if we go ahead and add this one to the system, I do want to lock all of these. So again, locking them so that only the dirt and the cobble can go in. And if we do end up taking all 900 dirt out, it won't try to force anything again. Because this is a higher priority, we basically need to lock everything, because anytime we put any items back into the system now, since this is a higher priority than the drives, it'll just force it into here. Actually, that's why the 8 cobblestone came back in, because when I was crafting and I tried to put them back into the drives, it put them back in here. So before we add, I guess, anything, we are going to need to lock the drawers. So go ahead and let's just start with the resources here. And iron, and we'll go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voids. So again, still some essences, but go ahead and lock, and add. And now if we go back, we should see all of the essence in here. Again, take the 32 out, go back in. We should only have 32 iron. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I personally like all the drawers to look the same, essentially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some time gathering some oak logs and making sure all of these we can do just oak, and I will be back. We're not going to do a full wall yet. Alright, so we got some more drawers with some upgrades in there, and I basically went ahead and took out all of the essence. So we do essentially just want to find a home for all of this essence. And actually, if you do right-click the storage controller, if you hover over it, you can see a lot of the items that are in the network currently. But if you hold right-click, if there already is a home for that item, so for the redstone and iron that I took out, for example, and the inferium, it went ahead and pulled it from my inventory. But the fertilized essence here, because that didn't have a home and it wasn't already connected to the network, to the system, it didn't pull from it. However, I believe, like, let's say I add this one to the network and don't lock it and don't do anything. If I right click it with, like, No, it doesn't. Never mind. So yeah, it does have to, you do have to have the item in there for it to find the home. So let's just continue grabbing some of this essence. I don't really care about the ironwood, but I would like to just make sure that, and honestly, we're not growing the mob essences at a fast enough rate right now for me to worry about it. But I do want to go ahead and add the fluix, the nether quartz, and the obsidian. And again, same thing, add, and then lock. Just making sure everything's locked. Perfect. So then just, again, slowly migrating things towards this. And I have 2 more that I need homes for. And for now, I'm only using the copper upgrades only because we don't really have enough gold to justify going ahead and upgrading them. But we'll definitely get these upgraded to basically all diamond or all netherite in the future. So, handful of oak and spruce drawers later. I used the spruce ones just to make the void and copper upgrades. Really wasn't that exciting gameplay. It was really just going and chopping down a crap ton of trees. And now that we're back, we'll go ahead and place some of these down. And go and change the jetpack and go ahead and just start slapping void and inventory upgrades, the copper upgrades on all of these. I think I needed 20 of each. I might not have needed that much, but I mean, oh no, we made more. It's cruel world we live in. But go ahead, and I just want to get a home for basically everything in our farm. So every time we add something new to the farm, we are going to need to come back here and make another drawer for it. But since we already have this kind of all set up, it shouldn't be as bad as or as difficult as it was this time. Should need less drawers overall and less upgrades overall. So we'll go ahead and add all of these, and we'll go ahead and add multiples. So we can go boom all the way to boom. And if we look at the white outline, the only other one that isn't added is this one. Okay, so it should be a giant rectangle and then those up there. So if we search up mystical agriculture, we should be getting all of this essence in here now. Perfect. So with this now, what we can do is, so now that the question is, how do we get the stuff over from our farm into our system? So we can make a couple of things. I am going to make, it's called a dimensional chest from dim storage. And I like this, especially starting off for a couple reasons. A, you get to choose your frequencies. So I'll show here in a bit. But if I place down one of these and you go to this little left arrow looking thing over here, you can do, again, public or, personal. You can change your frequency and you can change it to locked or not. I don't want it locked. I will keep it public just because no one else is going to be on my single player world. And yeah, we'll keep it for frequency 1 because we only have one frequency. And so we're going to make a couple. Let's go ahead and make another. I also am going to want, let's see. It's because I haven't placed this down yet. Perfect. Now it should be frequency 1 and they should stack. Awesome. I also want an import bus. So again, getting more into I/O, there's the storage bus that we went over. There are also import and export buses with applied energistics. So the how I think of it, the import bus imports into your system. The export bus exports from your system. So you're not thinking of it as you're importing into this machine, for example. No, you are everything's revolved around your network, your system. So you are either importing into your system or exporting out of your system. There's no, some of my friends, they'll get confused on the import or export, and that's how I like to think of that about it. You're always thinking about your network, your system, whether or not you're importing or exporting to or from there. So we'll go ahead and place one of these dimensional chests here, and oh, I just completely forgot to make the import bus. So we're going to place the import bus on here, and we're going to import everything basically. And if we go back to our farm over here, instead of the gold chest that is up here, yes, and see it's already I emptied it basically, and now it is all filled up again. So definitely going to need these void upgrades, but we're also definitely going to need more storage upgrades in them, because we don't want to be voiding these for no reason. And so now that we put the dimensional chests in here, these should all be importing into the system. Now we might need to make some acceleration cards. Honestly, looks like we probably will have to. So got everything out of the backpack and into the system. Looks like the dimensional chest, actually, after the first little backlog of items, is going pretty good. Let's just go ahead though, because I believe we should have, yes, we should already have an advanced card. Let's just go ahead and make an acceleration card. This is gonna complete a quest at some point though. We do have to get into auto crafting before we can claim that quest reward. But so with that, if we go again back to the compact machine, we should see all of the items that we put in here. Yes, and you saw this is going up. It was at 891, now it's at 94, 1.1k. Awesome. So yeah, looks like this is working perfectly. And now, because we have that, these essences automatically importing into our compact machine, we can always access them and essentially just make whatever whenever. So if we do need more fluix, we can go ahead and craft it, stick it back in, and our AE network will be happy basically. So there are some items though that I do want to move. Seeds are one of them. I'm not going to be really worried about ingots for the time being, but seeds are definitely going to be one of the items that I would like to move into a drawer. There are some other things that I would like to move, but we can wait for that. And as we're talking about, yes, perfect. So this has been going on in the background. Just look at how much AllTheMods we have just from that. That is ridiculous in a very good way. So we will definitely take that, put that in the system, and hopefully start making more AllTheMods gear. Now we will, I do want to, again, make something before we start making AllTheMods gear, because the one thing that we do not have a lot of is netherite. So I am going to want to start making some seeds for these higher tiered items, such as netherite and diamonds, but obviously we're going to need a lot of inferium, so wanted to just go ahead and make sure that the farm is constantly running so we can get as much inferium as possible. And as I was saying that, I'm looking at the inferium that we have. We might have enough to get one of the seeds that we need. I'm thinking like 1,000 inferium will equate to, yes, it will equate. I think 1,200 equates to 6 roughly. So we do actually have enough supremium. I am going to start with, and that's my Discord, I apologize. One Discord surfer mute later. I do want to start with the Netherite Seeds. So let's go ahead and get a prosperity seed. We have, I think the reason why I wanted to say 4, yes, so we can go ahead and make it. And before we go, I do want to use this fertilized essence to create some mystical fertilizer. And so basically, as you can see from the description, instantly grows a crop or sapling. You can use these on the mystical agriculture seeds. And it'll just instantly grow. I don't believe you can actually use bone meal on it. So we'll go ahead and make this netherite seed and plant it and be back once it's ready. So I do want to jumpstart this seed, which is why I made the mystical fertilizer, because I do want a lot of netherite ingots. I would love an infinity range upgrade. I'm about sick and tired of seeing the it's out of reach, it's out of network, blah, 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 blah. So perfect. We got the netherite seed. Let's see if we get anything good from the quest reward from the netherite seeds. Nope, just a supremium gemstone will be helpful. Again, much preferred the seeds though. And like I said previously, every time we are going to be adding a new seed to here, we are going to want to go ahead and add it to our network with some storage upgrades. Boom and boom, and perfect. We should be good to go there. So before we craft the infinity range booster, we do need 3 netherites, a few wireless boosters, so we already have 2, and I think we can just go ahead and make the last one perfect. And we'll go ahead and, well, just go ahead and put those in there. But the next thing we are going to need is some Enderium gear and lithium gear. Now, for Enderium, we did get some Enderium essence, and we can, again, just make some of the fertilizer and go ahead and just get the Enderium that we need. But we are going to need some Lumium as well. And so I would like to get into the very, very bare bone basics of Ender IO, just because it's going to be a lot easier to alloy smelt with Ender IO than to, let's see here, make the dust and then smelt it. We absolutely can, but we just need to craft up dust instead of just putting in the actual ingots into the alloy smelter. So we'll go ahead and make this. We are going to need a couple of different things. One of the things we're going to need is grains of infinity. And basically all that those things are, looks like we do have some dark steel, is lighting bedrock on fire. Or I guess we can do deep slate, so we're not going to have to go all the way down to bedrock. But let me really quickly just go ahead and find some deep slate, and I'll set that on fire and show you guys what it looks like. And some deep slate was found, so we'll just go ahead and set them on fire. Make sure the magnet is on, and we'll just let this burn for a little bit, and we should hear some popping sounds whenever the fire starts going out. It's not a, to my knowledge, it's not a 1-to-1 guarantee. You saw that one went out, but it didn't give us any, but you heard that popping sound, and that one turned to cobblestone. And so we are getting some grains of infinity. I would, again, like to make some seeds with the grains of infinity, just so we don't have to come down here every single time. So let me get a handful of these, and after we get a handful, we'll probably craft up some seeds and craft up the alloy smelter. So I stopped when I had about 8 grains of infinity. We don't need too many right now, but let's go ahead and just plant the seeds down. Come on, zombie. Come on. And let's see, again, just if we got anything new from this. And looks like we actually collected grains of infinity from the grains of infinity. Awesome. So let's go ahead and find the Enderium that we have. I forget where I put it. Let's see, was it over here? Yes, the Enderium. So go ahead and just speed up the process for this here. We don't need too many. I think, yeah, 8 of these get you 2, and we need 8 in total. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and use up all of this on this here. Now again, the one seed I am super happy and excited that we got are the Spirited Crystal Seeds. So these are going to be super helpful. When we get there, I'll explain a little bit more, but that is one of the higher tiers. It's the second to highest tier in Powa, and it takes an emerald and about, I think, 1 million FE. No, 1 billion FE. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 1 billion FE. Let's see, Spirited Crystal in here. No, okay, no, it's 1 million FE. So 1 million FE per, so it is pretty power hungry, if I'm being honest. So go ahead and make the 8 of those, put the rest in there. And now we can make the Void Chassis and make the Alloy Smelter. We'll go ahead and just, for now, put it here since we have the room to do so. We are going to need a capacitor, though. So for all Ender IO machines, you do need capacitors. There's 3 tiers of capacitors as well. So we're going to just start with the first one. We might, yeah, let's go ahead and go up to the second one since we probably can do that. So actually, no, we'll just stick with one because I didn't want to get more Grains of Infinity. But we'll definitely upgrade this in the future to the tier 3 one. And so for the Lumium ingots, it's 4 glowstone, 3 tin, and a silver. So we'll get 1. So do I not have any silver? That's weird. Well, we do. I know I have some processing. I don't know if it's ready yet, though. We'll grab the silver. We'll grab the 4 glowstone, and we'll grab the 3 tin that we need. Perfect. Platinum, yeah. Go ahead and smelt these up. And we might as well, since we made 2 silver, just go ahead and double the tin and glowstone since we do have it. Go ahead and make the lithium here. And yes, we got all 4. So looks like we have everything we need now if we come back down here to make the Infinity Range Booster. This is going to be so good to have. So go ahead and make the Endurium gears. Boom, boom. And make the Lumium gear. And with that, we should be able to make the Infinity Range Booster. Awesome. So now, if we go into the Nether, we're not going to be able to use the wireless crafting terminal, but anywhere in the overworld dimension, we actually are going to be able to use it. Now, there is, Applied does have a, I think it's called a dimensional, yeah, a dimension card. We are going to need Nether stars, though, for that, so this is going to be a little ways away from where we are. I tested the singularity thing that I said earlier in my creative test world, and it appeared if I made a separate set of entangled singularities and just renamed one of them to, you know, the one that we have here, that it would work with the crafting terminal. But I tried it in here and it did not work. So just with how we have everything set up, I really don't want to make another quantum ring. So I think dimensional, you know, wireless crafting or wireless access is just gonna have to wait for the time being, unfortunately. I was hoping to get away with just naming 3 of the entangled singularities to the same name, in that the wireless terminal would link to the quantum ring here, but no such luck I don't believe. So as we're wrapping up this episode, I do want to make note of a couple of things. The first thing is, I think we already had some fertilized essence in our ME network here. Yeah, you can see there's 210 in here already. Even though we did make the drawer for it over here, this only has 1.3k. And so in order to fix that, we'll just take some out. And so take some out, put them back in, take some out, put it back in. Now they should have, again, gone out of the ME network, and all 15k should be in this drawer right here. Yes. And then I do want to go ahead and just place the seeds here. We shouldn't have any seeds like coming into the network, so I'm okay with not putting any upgrades on this for the time being. Just going ahead and get it out of my inventory. The other thing I want to mention is if you shift right click inside of your compact machine with your shrinking device, you can set a new spawn point. So if we want the spawn to be up here, just shift right click, and then if we go back in, we should again enter in from up here. I might just keep that there for now, which seems funny. Then the last thing I do want to mention is I think I mentioned this before, but we never actually implemented it, is getting the slot memorizations for the backpack. So as we are starting to pile up all of our kind of essential items in our backpack, I am going to make a separate backpack for exploration and resource gathering. But for now, I am going to just kind of set items over in their respective areas. So yeah, I just want the linking cards and the exchanging gadget over here, some of the hammers and wrenches I have here, the chisel. The top right is just good utils, and then bottom right is weapons or armor or stuff like that. And so if you go to the settings up here, you go to the memory, you can select all slots to remember, you can unselect all slots, and you can also, I will be ignoring MBT data since, you know, these do have durability. But if you select all slots and you exit out, it will remember them. So if I shift right click it out, you'll see there's a little shadow behind each and every one of them. I can't put the hammer in any of these. I can't put my pickaxe in any of these slots, but if you just shift click the items back in, they will go in, and then in all the blank slots you can put new items in. So let's say I wanted to put my axe and my shovel in here, which I probably will do. I will go ahead and I can go back and reselect all slots. And now these are remembered, again, ignoring MBT data, so ignoring the durability essentially on these. And with that, I think that's about all that we had time for today. But in the next episode, I'm going to work on kind of expanding the Mystical Agriculture Farm, getting some more seeds, expanding this storage drawer network, and yeah, kind of just pumping in as many resources as possible so we can move on to the more fun stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode though, and I'll see y'all in the next one.